Hi, everybody. I'm probably an unfamiliar voice to you. It's because I work in the education department here at WFSU. My name is Olivia Hackney, and the topic that we're going to talk about today is black and curly hair. But I'm not going to do it by myself, of course. I brought some friends along with me. Literally, I just grabbed you guys from your office and was just like, hey, let's talk about this. So,
hey, Olivia.
we have Lynn, our director of content.
Hey.
And we have Lydell, our director of digital, period. And we also have Crystal, who is...
I have no title.
What is
Coordinator of Corporate Support.
Awesome.
Chaos Wrangler for short.
That is what you do sometimes. So we are going to talk about our experience growing up with textured and curly hair. Did anybody else's mom have the hair basket?
Yes.
When it was time for me to get ready for school. I remember it was my mom and my dad both getting me ready for school. My dad would help me like get dressed, make sure I have my lotion on because it can't be ashy out here.
Can't be ashy.
Then he would say, okay, go across the hall. Your mom's ready to do your hair. And I could still see it now. It was like a red wickered basket that just had all the hair supplies in there.
And the beauty balls.
Okay.
And the barrettes.
The barrettes, the hair gel, the comb, all of that was in that basket. And I had to sit in between her legs and get my hair done before school. Was that anybody else's testimony?
That's true bonding.
It was very true bonding.
That was not my testimony. I know when I was in 6th and 7th grade, I was kind of like a hair chameleon. I would let my hair grow, but the thing that I wanted, my mom would not allow me to have, which was the little twisties. Oh my God. So I would grow my hair to a point, and I would always end up back with a fade with waves because, I had the waves. I could get the waves popping, but every time I got my hair a little bit too big, I think I freaked my mom out, and then the shears came out.
Oh, no. Because you have locks right now, Lydell. So how long have you had... Is this like your second round of locks?
This is my first round of locks. I had pandemic locks. I did not get my hair cut. I have had a haircut now, but I did not have a haircut the whole time of COVID. And so my hair just started growing all over the place. And then right around March of 2021, I went and got it twisted up. And so now, since then, I have grown the luscious locks that you see before you.
How long did your hair take to lock?
It took a minute because part of my problem with being a hair chameleon is my hair grows kind of straight out of my head, which people don't understand can happen. And so I would go to the loctician and say, hey, can you do it now? And she'd pull it and it didn't go anywhere. And she's like, why isn't your hair moving? I'm like, that's all. What you see is what you get. And so after so many months of going back and forth, she finally was like, I think I could do it now.
See, I think that's something that a lot of people might not realize, that hair comes in so many varieties and curl patterns, regardless of your race, your culture, your background. For me, I did try to lock, but it was very short-lived. I panicked because my hair locked entirely too quickly after like 2 weeks. And it was too much commitment for me at the time.
Really?
Yes, it was entirely too much commitment for me at the time. And I panicked and I cut them all off.
Oh my gosh. I'm over here like, I wish I locked my hair sooner. I really do.
Yeah.
I love the look.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How long have you had them?
It will be 2 years in July.
Wow.
2 years?
That's serious for 2 years.
No,
that is.
It's 2 years, but
that's
like
impressive.
But I always tell people I started at this length. I didn't go through the whole.
I didn't go through the ugly
I
phase.
I didn't go through the ugly phase of where it's just like little itty bitty. Because everybody like 2 years. how's your hair like? Well,
So
but,
wait,
yeah.
how did you get your hair to lock at that length? Because I feel like that doesn't usually happen.
The shrink,
like,
yeah. So shrinkage is very real.
Shrinkage is
yes,
real.
yes. So like when I first got them, you
Mhm.
know, I definitely noticed a shrinkage. But after my hair, my loose hair is just very thick. Wash days were truly wash days for me. Okay, like I can just feel my triceps now with detangling my hair. Yeah, and I think that's why my locks are like so thick and, you know,
Luscious.
yeah, luscious now.
Bountiful.
And I'm looking over at Crystal. I can't wait for my to like stop budding because I want to add color. And Crystal, like every time I see you, it's like the perfect shade of purple every time. And I always
Agreed.
want to ask you, I'm like, do you color yourself? Do you just like, cause like it's just always so pretty every time I see it. And it's the short pixie cut, you know, it's just like, so cute. Crystal,
I don't want to.
please.
I don't want to reveal my secret because it's
Fair.
No. It's because it's. It's because I have a lot of gray, and that is why the color shows up so well. For a 21-year-old, you wouldn't expect me to have
Exactly.
No,
gray,
right.
but-
I'm like, wait, Crystal, we're literally the same age. You're 26. What do you mean?
I don't, it just
Forever
has
young.
genetic, I guess.
No, but honestly though, Crystal, like you really do have like a young spirit. So
Oh,
you
thank
know.
you.
But when did you color your hair?
So I want to say probably my early 30s. Well, you know what? Maybe late 20s. I would say. I did not start purple.
Okay,
Like
because
it
I was gonna
was-
ask what.
No.
Because I feel like when that color fits you, but I feel like I am also seeing like a past of like failed colors or like, oh, I put too much bleach in, you know, kind of thing. You know, because every
Yeah.
time I hear people that are like coloring their hair, it's just like,
It's a whole
it's a
experience.
process. It's a process. So what was that phase like for you?
So mine wasn't that bad. I had a really pretty color of hair. Like I really liked my hair color originally. And my hairdresser at the time was like, why don't you're getting some grays up here. You want to try to do something with color. And so I had never even really thought about it, but I was like, I trust her. And she gave me a color. I loved it. And
What was it?
She would never tell me.
Oh wow.
So you
That's
just
how you keep them
She
coming
custom
back.
mixed it.
wow.
how.
So how would you describe it?
I would describe it like a burgundy, like a deep burgundy. Like you wouldn't really
Okay.
see the color unless like the light was on it or I was in the sun.
Okay.
But it was like I had less gray then too, so you could it would only really
Yeah.
pop in the light. So I had that one for a really long time, and then as I changed hairstylists, the color would start to change. My previous hairstylist loved playing with color. I was not that adventurous, so I
Right.
wouldn't let her go too wild, but it just kind of gradually. And so the biggest jump was between my previous hairdresser and this one because yet again, I didn't know what color to tell her.
Yeah.
And by the time I started with this one and she was able to do my color, because you can't just sit down in a hairdresser's chair for the first time and be like, all right, color it and do all this.
Yeah,
you gotta build up some trust.
No. It's like, how do you shampoo my hair first? Let's
Right.
start there.
Let's start with the basics.
Let's start there. One last thing to wrap up this awesome conversation that we're having. What is one style or one way to have your hair that you wish you would have done or you could do? Very good question.
I've never colored my hair.
That was gonna be my answer.
I've
I've
never colored my hair. I know I've talked about this many times. I wish I could rock Crystal's purple. I have
Listen, because Crystal, your hair is like my inspiration.
right.
now.
It's my bucket
Superhero.
list. Like
Yes.
The purple is popping.
I
Yes.
love purple. I love purple. It is my absolute favorite color. But I'm almost, let me not say almost. I am 40. My hair
And thriving.
Yes.
Yes.
My hair has never seen color. My hair is extremely dark. It's like when you go, my hair color is a 1B on the color charts.
Yes.
So, if we got to get,
Yes,
some
the braiding
extensions, some
hair.
weaves, 1B is my color.
I literally see it in the hair store.
It is a
Yep.
thing. And every stylist I've ever had when I've tried to plead for color has told me that it would take entirely too much work to lift my hair to blonde, which requires bleach
Right.
on natural hair,
Yeah.
to then have to apply color. They were like, it's too dangerous for your hair. I have a lot of hair, but it's really, really fine. And they were like, it's just not worth it. So whenever I want color, I have to basically go to the store and buy it, because no good stylist will color my hair. And many have actively warned me against it. They've told me several times over that the time for me to have experienced and experimented with color has long passed. So my one hair regret is that I never colored it while I had the opportunity to do so.
Wow. Lydell, as you're saying here.
I'm living mine right now. I
love it.
I like my hair. The one thing that's probably gonna happen that I think looks cool, but I don't know if I could pull off, is when you have this much hair, sometimes these things break off.
Yeah, they do.
And mine are pretty skinny. So
Yeah.
at some point, I think I'm gonna adjust to, having the fade on the side and the back.
Nice. That's going to be hot.
You ever
So
thought about combining them? Like
Co-
combining locks?
This is gonna
Yeah.
sound like voodoo, but I have a bag of some pristine locks because my hairdresser always told me to keep them. She's
Yeah.
like, keep them because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
never
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And she told me how to keep them. I got them. So if she ever wants them, hey, I'm down.
That's hilarious. I love that. Crystal, do you have a hairstyle that you wish you would have done?
I never got, and I wish I had done it when I was younger. I don't see myself doing it now, but I've never really experienced weave. And I feel like I could have done
never had
so
a
many
sew-in?
things and tried
What?
so many things had I done that.
You never had
So,
a sew-in? Never?
I think
Oh,
you know what I did? I had
Crystal.
one for 2 weeks, and that was.
Probably for somebody's wedding.
Highly likely.
It didn't stay
Highly
long.
likely. Crystal, I'm amazed.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Because
That
that was
feels
going
like
to be
a-
like my second answer besides color. Well, I have had weave. Like I had a traditional sew-in because I was in color guard in high school and we had to style our hair a certain way. But I just want to try like a lace front wig. Just try it. Because the different, but I'm also I'm like don't want to commit to it because I like my edges.
I was about to say, you saw my hands go straight
Yeah.
to the door. My edges.
I'm like, you know what? I like my edges, so we're just gonna keep it that way. But
But to rock a Beyonce.
listen, I just get
Yeah.
a fan in front of me. Please,
listen.
Right?
please. But I'm
be sick
so
of me.
glad to be having this conversation with you guys. But thank you guys for sitting here with me and pulling you guys from your offices. I hope this was fun.
It was fun.
Love
Yeah.
your hair, regardless of texture. Your hair is your crown and glory.
That's right.
However
It's
which
part of
way
your
you choose
identity.
to wear it.
Yes.
From texture 1 through texture 4.
Yes.
That's right. Everybody at this table has wonderful hair.
Yes.
Oh, that was so sweet, Lydell. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia.
I have a great guest with me, Lacey. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking.
Good, good. Can you introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us about your journey in the hair industry?
So my name is Talacia Fincher, and I go by Lacey. And I've been in the hair industry for over 25 plus years. And how I actually got started is actually kind of interesting because, when you're going through life, you don't really realize a lot of things that you go through that it's preparing you for who you are going to become.
Yes.
So it's not, I tell people, like I tell like some of the younger stylists that becoming a master is not overnight. It's definitely a journey.
Yes.
And even though, you have some people that start out at home, and I'm definitely one of those ones that started out at home, but I encourage people to go get the education. Because the education, it takes you on a whole nother level. And people don't really understand that in this industry, it's not just about hair. Some people are, they're surprised when I share with them that when I went to school, I had to learn about anatomy, not as, going to school for a nurse, but it was more so knowing the structures of different people's faces. That's why you can see the same hairstyle, but it looks so different on people, because all of that has to be taken into account as far as the outcome.
Wow.
So that was one of the things we learned about a little bit about electricity, because for us to do our job, we have blow dryers that have to be plugged up. So we learned about antoms and things of that nature, which most people wouldn't even think like electricity, but think about it. If we don't have electricity to plug our tools up, we can't do our job properly.
No.
So the schooling went deeper for me, and it gave me another sense of appreciation for the field.
Awesome. And where did you attend?
I went to Gwinnett County in Atlanta. Well,
I'm from Cobb County.
Okay.
Okay. When you said Gwinnett,
so
I was
Metro
like,
Atlanta,
yes.
people don't consider it Atlanta,
Yet.
but yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. That's a whole other
Yes.
debate that we could get into. But
Yes.
So with your education, did you have to specify what hair specialty you would be?
So basically, when you take up cosmetology, because you have, the thing is, you have like different areas in the field that you can take up. So say, for instance, if I wanted to just be a specialist in coloring hair, like all I wanted to
Right.
do, you still take cosmetology as a whole, because cosmetology is going to be your base, even if you don't use all of it. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you still have the cosmetology license, but once I get licensed, if I said all I want to do is haircuts, I can be a specialist in just cutting hair. Or if I said I just want to do natural hair. Now, I will say, I don't know if I'm getting ahead, but I will say in the natural hair industry, that just came about really within like the last 15 years, where
Okay.
people were doing the big chop. I don't know if you remember that. They were taking like
I've done two,
Okay.
Lacey. I've done two
Okay.
big chops. I'm talking about my hair was to my scalp.
Okay.
I'll show you pictures later. Yes, I've done it twice.
So about 15 years ago, people were kind of getting away from chemicals.
Yes.
And it was more so, I want to embrace my natural hair. I want to embrace, how my hair naturally grows, and just really get into like taking care of their hair. So with that, you had more people starting to get interested in it. So then that opened up the door to natural hair specialists. So now we have people that all they do now is natural hair. Before about 15 years ago, that wasn't so much heard of like it is now today.
So are you considered a natural hair specialist, or?
I actually am considered a versatile stylist, and I'm going to tell you why
Okay.
is that. I made up in my mind when I, finally decided this is what I was going to do. I wanted to be able to serve whoever sat in my chair. So
Right.
it didn't matter if your hair was straight. It didn't matter if it was curly. It didn't matter if it was natural, chemically treated. It didn't matter. I wanted to be able to service whoever sat in my chair. Not saying that I do everything.
Yes.
You understand what
Right,
I'm saying?
absolutely.
But I could be of some service to you.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. What are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about textured/curly hair?
One of the misconceptions about curly hair is that, first of all, they feel like you don't have to do as much to it. That is not true at all. Because with curly hair, it comes out of your scalp already, curled. Which, another example I can give, if you remember back in the days, the phones that had like the little springs, the little spring cords on them.
Yes.
That's kind of how natural hair comes out of the scalp.
Absolutely.
And so what people fail to realize, if you pull that string long, hard enough,
Right.
it'll pop. So you still have to treat the hair, with extra moisture. And the thing is, it's like not to really, because the thing about this industry, it's not just one way to do things. You get what I'm saying? To get the
Absolutely.
same result. But I could just speak from my experiences and my, trial and errors and what I've seen work and what I've seen that won't work. And I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm just kind of old school when it comes to that.
Yeah,
If
for
it's not
sure.
broke, don't fix it. So I'm not
Yes.
like a product junkie. I don't go
Yes.
run to the next thing that's out. Oh, this is do, like if I've been using this product and I seen what it does and it skipped out and used, I'm going to go with what I know to give you the
Absolutely.
best results. So
Absolutely.
the thing is, you have to keep curly hair moisturized. And another misconception, people feel like if I put oil on my hair, that's moisturizing it. No, it's not. A oil is a sealant. A oil should go on after you've, shampooed and you've conditioned, and then you put your moisturizer on it, and then you can put oil on there. And even in that, you need to be mindful about I usually like to say, maybe a dime size, put it in your hand, rub it, and then put it throughout the hair. It helps seal that moisture in the hair.
Yes,
Because
that is
what-
so important about the dime size
Yes.
because
You can, and then the thing
Yeah.
is, because you can overly put product in your hair. And so if you're overly putting product in your hair, then when you use a product, when you try to use like a moisturizing product, it's not going to be able to penetrate that cuticle. And for all those that's just not really familiar with, like some people know, some people don't. I like to give the example of like a roof with shingles. You want your hair to lay like the roof with shingles. When that cuticle has been, compromised, think about the shingles on a roof lifting up. That's what you don't want. And that's what the cuticles do when they're damaged and when they're not getting moisture. When you're getting the moisture and you want that. But you want the oil to seal that, to make those shingles lay down. And you think about the cuticles of your hair. You want those cuticles to lay down. And so that's another big misconception. And also, with curly hair, you want to, it starts with your shampoo. I like to tell people, I don't care, as far as like the moisturizer, start with a clarifying shampoo. A clarifying shampoo is going to get all that dirt, buildup, product, whatever you have in it, it's going to wash it out. And another thing that a lot of my clients my clients now know because I have a set clientele, but like if somebody first meet me, they're so surprised when I give them this information. I'm like, when you're shampooing your hair, you want to make sure you're shampooing with warm water because all that's, in your hair, you want that stuff out. So you want it out and you want the clarifying shampoo to help with that. Your second shampoo should be a moisturizing shampoo because you want to put moisture back in that hair. All that you just washed out and, that the clarifying, because the clarifying shampoo, I tell people like once you, shampoo it with the clarifying, just feel your hair. Like you can almost give like that squeaky clean.
Yes.
But you don't want it to end up like that because
Right.
that's the clarifying, that's what it's doing. It's doing its job.
Yes.
So you go back in with that moisturizing shampoo and then your conditioner, and then your oil.
Yes, you literally describe when I wash my locks. I do that exact
That's
same
it,
thing,
yeah.
especially with the clarifying. I use the Dr. Bronner's as a
yes.
it's a very good, especially like for locks. And I use the warm water, and I can feel the difference of when I use the clarifying shampoo.
But
This
let
is
me
great.
piggyback off of that as well.
Yes.
So just like I say, you use the warm water to shampoo because you're trying to take all, what's ever in there, and then you go back in with your moisturizing. With your conditioner, you want to use cool water.
Yes.
Because if you
yes.
put conditioner on your hair
yes.
and you rinse it with warm water, you literally just washed out everything. Remember what I said. You want to think of that hair as the shingles on a roof. You want those cuticles to be sealed. Cold water is gonna help seal those cuticles.
It's the same thing like our skin, like with pores.
Yes.
And they say to like use cold water because that closes the
pores.
up.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
my goodness, this is just amazing. I hope you guys are like taking notes.
It's so funny because like the thing is, what people have to realize when you've done something for so long, a lot of times when I ask you questions, I'm just asking you, just for you to be okay and comfortable and open up with me. But when I tell them, I'm like, I could tell, you haven't really been drinking that much water, have you? How you know that, Miss Lacey? I get those things. Well, I've gotten to the point where I've done it so long and I'm all about healthy hair. I can tell something going on. Or like if they have like breakage, and even with the breakage, I can tell if their hair is breaking from the scalp, it's like, you've started some kind of medication or something. Because what I also tell people, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not a doctor. However, a lot of things that is going on physically on the inside with people, your stylist is one of the first ones to know, because we can pick up on, it could be something on your skin, or it could be something in your, we pick up on those things. So it's like, it's good to have that relationship. And another thing, let me just say, do not be out here chair hopping. That is like,
okay. That was going to be one of my next questions, because I wanted you to talk about the shift of the hairstylist, because I want to say, Miss Lacey, you are rare. Okay. I personally just moved here from Atlanta.
Okay.
So I haven't found my stylist, and I have locks.
Right.
So there was a transition where I was doing my own hair, because the hairstylist I had, she stopped doing hair because, her hands started hurting. It just started hurting her physically.
Right.
So I started doing my own hair. But now you have these stylists that, honestly, they require you to have your hair done before you come and get your hair done.
Exactly.
So that's why you do have people like me that are chair hopping, because I know what it's like to be fully serviced.
Right.
So could you maybe speak to that change that we see going on? The booking website page? It's a whole phenomenon.
I will say, I don't like it.
That's the answer. That's it.
And here's the reason, because it's so much that falls behind that. If, first of all, you want to get somebody that cares about your hair.
Yes.
And then the thing is, I'm a very transparent stylist. I'm one of those stylists. I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you what's going on, but I'm going to ask you, like, are you comfortable with that? Because I do understand you have some people, they just don't want to spend 20, 30 minutes in the morning doing their hair.
Right.
So if that's
what is your lifestyle?
Be honest with me, and then we can come up with a plan for you that at least you're doing something, even if you're only taking 5 to 10 minutes at the most.
Yes.
And then you have some people that don't mind, taking that time. But these new age stylists, it's just like, what are the people paying for? They already have to come shampoo. They already have to be blow dry. And then it's like, oh, and if it's not blow dry this way, oh, that's an extra fee. Like, I don't personally, what happened to people coming in and experiencing, because most of the times, like most of my clients, when they come to me, that's their downtime. That's their time to relax.
Yes.
So if I've already put them to work, like,
Right.
like, and,
Right.
and I didn't even realize that was a thing when I was in a corporate salon, and I got booked for an appointment, and the young lady, she came in. And I was like, well, come on, baby. She was like, oh, already shampoo? I said, excuse me? She was like, yeah, usually when I have an appointment, I already have to come shampooed and blowed out. I was like, baby, I don't mean, to offend you. I was like, but I'm going to shampoo your hair. That does not decrease the price. It's part of, the service. And then to just be transparent, I don't know what products you use, and your clean is not necessarily my clean. So let's come on back.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and get you ready and prepare for this. So I've definitely seen that. But I think, too, it hurts the industry a lot. Because people feel like, I'm doing all of this, but I'm paying all. And then that's the thing. It's like they have to, do all this work before they get to you. Yes. But it's like the prices are increasing. Like, make it make sense. That doesn't make sense. Like, what am I paying you for?
It's like, that is why I locked my hair 2 years ago, because I I was already doing it myself,
Right.
but to do my hair myself, like to do box braids myself, you're talking about 2 days
Yeah.
doing myself. Parting, the washing, the blow drying, that took
Right.
2 days because I came here for my master's degree. I couldn't afford
So
to have
yes,
somebody else do it for me,
understand.
So then I was like, okay, I just need to lock my hair. And I'm finding that locking my hair, it is taking away a lot of my time, which is a great thing, to, prepare it in the morning or do things. And I can retwist myself.
Right.
But I can also go and get it retwisted and styled by
Maintenance.
somebody
Right.
else because I don't have to get that done as often.
Often.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So you see, like there is a shift in that for me personally. So what do you wish somebody would have told you or taught you as go back to 25 years ago, Lacey going into the hair industry? What do you wish somebody would have told you or taught you about
The hair.
what you're, yeah,
What I'm
what,
doing.
yes.
I love this question.
And if you could give that advice to like
I'm
the
finna give it to you
generation,
because when I tell you,
you're welcome, you guys. Come giving you gems for free.
the one thing that I wish I would have knew earlier on in my career,
Mm-hmm.
that it is a career. And I'm gonna tell you
Mhm.
why I say that. If you ask people that's in the industry that does hair, oh, what do you do? Oh, I do hair. A lot of people like, well, what else do you do? As if it's not good enough.
A side job.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I wish that I wouldn't have looked at the industry. It wasn't until, actually, to be honest, so I started going to like the Bronner Brother hair shows and things of that nature. And then like one of my, and I'm going to just share this nugget because I shared this same testimony with one of my clients. She's a medical doctor. And she looked at me. She was like, I'm so glad you didn't stop, Lacey. She was like, what? She said, do you understand that you guys can make doctor salaries? I was like, but it's not looked at like that.
No.
It's looked at as a side job, as if it's not good enough. Like, oh,
Right.
if that's what you do, what else do you do? As if you have to have
Right.
something else to go along with it. So that is like when I meet, especially like younger generations that's coming up in it, I tell them, don't let nobody make you feel like what you're doing is less than. And then the thing about what a lot of people fail to realize, with the type of license I have, if I decided not to sit behind a chair ever again, I don't have to. I can go into skincare. I can go into making products. Like it's so
Right.
many different variety of
Right.
areas that I can go into. And so that's like one of the things that I get to do with people, and just, and like I said, especially younger stylists coming up in the industry, don't let nobody make you feel like what you do is not good enough, because baby, you are that on a bag of chips. I know y'all probably heard that in a minute, but I said I'm old school, so like, but that's like one of the things that I definitely love sharing, and I wish somebody would have told me that earlier, because that actually prolonged me just going in full time, because I always felt like it wasn't good enough, or I needed to do hair, but I, did something. But the thing, what I come to realize, when you have a calling,
Yes.
you can't run from it. Because guess what? Even though I was doing other jobs, working retail, I even drove trucks, doing other
Wow.
things. Yeah, the 18-wheelers too.
Oh,
But
wow.
I always did hair. So even like with my time home with driving the trucks, I still would have hair appointments when I come home. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So even though I wasn't doing it full time, it never left me. And to understand, it was just like when I did it full time and made my mind up that I wasn't going to be doing this and acting like it's not good enough, my biggest blessings ended up on the other side.
Wow. Wow. It's just that letting go and just like
Yes.
surrendering
I
almost
wish
to
I
your
just
gift.
wish somebody would have told me that earlier. Because
Wow.
the way it was, like I said, when somebody asked you that question, I was just made to feel like it just wasn't good enough. I had to attach something else with it. But no, that's why I make sure it's any young person that runs across me and they probably say, yeah, Miss Lacey told me that. She shared that with me. Oh yeah, because I wish somebody would have did it for me.
I love that. I love that. Well, Miss Lacey, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
I feel like we had a really great conversation and
Yes.
inspired another potential another hairstylist out there.
Yes.
Do you have anything that you want to add or anything?
Well, right now, I just recently opened my books back up. So I'm located at 2727 Appalachia Parkway. So I am, I'm going to just be honest. If you are not looking for somebody to be transparent and just be honest, I'm not the stylist for you. And that's one of the
Okay.
other things too.
Yes.
You know, I'm just a very open stylist. So
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss
You're
Lacey, for your time
welcome.
and your knowledge.
Oh, yes.
This is such a great conversation. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
You're welcome.